Welcome back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zach.
I'm Shane.
We're back with Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 25. Do you remember what happened last time?
I didn't expect the comedy stuff with Connie. I mean, maybe they want to inject some humor into that little situation, which almost, if you think about it deeply, makes it more morbid. Well, he didn't really come to his senses. He definitely felt guilty, but Armin, offered himself as a sacrificial lamb to his friend, and then I think it woke him up.
Yeah, I didn't want to see his friend be eaten.
Yeah, and most importantly, Levi's alive, and he's talking.
Yeah. He only lost a couple fingers and fucked up his face. Might be blind in one eye now.
Oh, yeah, he might be. I didn't think about that. Mm-hmm. But then him and Hanji will both be blind in one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had scars and a badass patch on the opposite eye.
Yeah, you're right. He did, didn't he? But the team's getting back together. So the team is getting from season 1 plus Gabby and Falco, and I guess Magath.
So Magath,
and
Peek, Rhina, Annie, fucking Mikasa, Armin, Jean.
Yeah. Connie,
and then the kids, Gabby and Falco.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's really cool. I don't really know what their plan is. They want to go try to talk to Aaron. Levi wants to take out Zeke, which maybe that will mess up that big ass. I just want to
kind of. What Titans are going to do from the walls?
Yeah.
What are they going to do after they take out Zeke and they're not controlling them anymore? They just stand there?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
You know what I mean? Because they've been just in those walls the whole fucking time, just hanging out.
I wonder if he can turn people back human.
That'd be cool. We talked about it.
That's like the last thing he does,
they
or
take
something?
away the Titan ability forever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering, if maybe he's going to wipe out the whole world and then take away the Titan ability.
Yeah.
Flip that switch and then...
That'd be a hell of a thing.
It would be. And kind of leave the world in more or less the circumstances at the end of Evangelion, except Evangelion was much more extreme. But
yeah.
The,
don't tell me. That's supposed to be one of the great animes. Exactly.
It is. I think one of the only story notes they didn't tie up for episode 23 was where Annie's dad and the Eldians that are in Marley, like what became of them.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there.
How successful do you think Aaron will be at trampling at least Marley?
I think that if he literally just gets all the boys moving and they're rolling out to fucking stomp some towns and cities and nations, if he doesn't get anywhere, it'd be a little anticlimactic. As far as the story's progress goes. If they just catch him before he leaves the island, like, hey, no, don't do it. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. And there'd have to be an epic battle or something.
I think he needs to at least make it to Marley. Because Marley represents, I think, I know he wants to go out to the whole world, but Marley represents kind of like, I think
like, you're the fucking problem.
Yeah, like the big boss.
Yeah.
And, we got like a lot of family members of our cast there, too. So, I don't know if we'll be successful, but I wonder how many people they killed on the island by accident and how many people they might have killed on the way out of the island.
Yeah, just trampling people.
Yeah,
as they march out. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd like to see them make it, to the mainland, just to see where that story can go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like I think it has to, like you said. So.
Anyways, guys, before we jump in, just so you know, we do put our footage on our Patreon for free for everyone. Make sure you come back here for the post talk. Let's jump in.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, I hate him too.
I think Flock's time is coming.
Maybe it'll come here.
We're getting that build up, kind of like with Joffrey.
Yeah.
We just want to see that fucker dead.
Yeah.
See him dead. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he was.
Like,
I was just funny. I was listening.
Piece of shit with godlike power.
Yeah.
It's like people say, "Oh, he's just a kid." Like, no, motherfucker is like brutalizing people.
Yeah, when you know what you're doing to these people.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
You're not going to grow out of that if that's in you then.
No. Oh man, you're right.
You probably become worse. Yeah. It's funny enough. I was just listening to like a clip on the Joe Rogan podcast where him and some other dude they were talking about it.
About Joffrey?
Because they asked him, "Are you watching Game of Thrones?" And Joe's like, "Yeah." The guy said, "Yeah." He's like, "I did that and read the books." And I think he said he was in a library when he was reading the book, or he was somewhere. And when that moment happened with Joffrey, spoiler alert, when that moment happened, I guess.
Yeah, because it's not the Red Wedding, because the Red Wedding's what happened to Robb. So what did they call that when he died?
The Purple Wedding, I guess, right?
Or something, I don't know.
Did he turn purple? And
maybe so.
I think people in the books call it, like, I think in that world they call it the Purple Wedding too.
Okay, because they may not refer to it as anything in the show.
Yeah, I don't know if they did in the show.
Yeah.
But, he said he cheered. He said he cheered like with such glee, like, and people were like, whoa, like he said he just couldn't help it. He burst with excitement when that kid died.
Yeah, he's so well written as a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like worse than Commodus.
Yeah,
and Commodus was a piece of shit. He was like level 1 piece of shit back when we were younger.
Yeah,
like the example was set. I mean, Tabington was a piece of shit too, and like some of the other villains we knew. But Commodus was just
killed two of his children.
The Commodus was just like this, like snake-like, sleazy, weird, just shithead.
Mikasa's decision. Well, I wrote it down because I thought when the episode started, she made it sound like that she would do what she needed to do. If she had to take Eren down, she would. But then when Annie was confronting her, it was, she didn't seem as sure.
Yeah, and also when you're being pinned with that question by people that were once your enemies and that, you know what I mean? Like, it might be different circumstantial. It's like, I'm going to tell these people, you know. From a writer's perspective, they're probably not going that in depth, but...
I mean, yeah.
That's pretty nuanced. But I would say that you're right. She's just not sure. So...
Well, just like... I know the audience needed to hear their campfire conversation. And I am glad we did. Sometimes I felt like... Because, I mean, I think every character, like Yelena, was just like airing out everyone's dirty laundry.
Airing their grievances.
She was being like that anime character, like giving like this exposition. So when that happens, sometimes I take notice, like, oh, here's the exposition part. But I like this show and the character so much, I was fine with it.
Well, for me, it's more like I want to see. I want to get to what's going on. Not, okay, we've been through all this. We know what everybody's done.
Yeah.
But the characters, that's one issue I've heard someone criticize in certain storytelling modes. Like, if the audience knows more than the characters do, like we know before the character does.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bad storytelling technique.
It's like the Game of Thrones because of different perspectives.
Yeah. But if it's done well, they carry it on. But like if you're trying to sort out mysteries, but you already know the mystery and the character's taking his time getting there.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, if it's a whodunit,
then
I think that would be bad.
Well, not just whodunits. I mean, there's examples, but in this case, that's not so much the case because these guys they're like you said, they're airing their grievances. They have to work together.
Yeah, the characters have come alive.
And it can't just be like you said, where when you mentioned like, "Well, I just let that shit go." Like, they can't just do that in a story like this.
No, they can't.
All right, we're chums now. Let's go take out those titans.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
unless it was like in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I think the characters need to have that conversation because they've done such a good job of bringing them alive that I want them to have those conversations.
Kind of like when Homelander and Butcher teamed up against Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
At the end of that last season, I mean, they didn't have to talk about it.
No.
They knew why they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah, and those aren't the kind of guys that have those types of conversations either.
No.
It would have been out of character. But
at the same time, like, I still think that whole situation was bullshit because Butcher pretty much convinced him, hey, you got to kill your son.
Yeah.
Then when the tables turned around, it's like, we're not killing my son.
Yeah.
We're here to kill your son.
Yeah, I know.
That was kind of bullshit. But I mean, Soldier Boy's a piece of shit, but at the same time, it was a shitty cut.
Yeah, I love that season and the way it went down. I didn't want them to kill Homelander because I think he's kind of the show.
Unfortunately, yeah, because his Anthony Starr's performance.
Yeah.
I watched a movie called The Covenant
I've heard of that movie.
I want to say it was over the weekend, but I think it was last week. But he plays a contractor. He has a small role.
Yeah.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal and that other dude. I can't remember his name. I haven't seen him in anything else, but he plays the Muslim guy.
That just came out, and he wants to go save him or something?
Yeah, because the guy was a interpreter.
Yeah.
And the interpreters, I guess, to my recollection, they basically, when they sign up to be an interpreter, they're promised a visa and their families and everything will be taken out of there. Because after we left Afghanistan, of 3,000, so many thousands of interpreters and their families were killed for assisting the U.S. for being there. And what would happen was he was in a firefight and wounded. It was just him and the interpreter left. I think he ends up getting wounded, and the interpreter has to carry his ass like 100 kilometers and get him back to another town or U.S. military base.
Yeah.
Well, the U.S. military gets his ass out of there, but they left the other guy behind because like all these other interpreters are basically left in the dust.
Yeah.
After the mop-up, and so that was a movie about that. But anyway, Anthony Starr was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He
he's in that movie.
Yeah, he plays a contractor that assists Jake Gyllenhaal when he goes back to get the guy.
Oh, okay.
So he's a cool but really small role.
That's cool.
That could have been played by probably anybody, but it was cool that it was him.
Yeah. So. There's a Michael Bay. It's one of the better. And Michael Bay movies are always entertaining, almost always, like very entertaining.
Here's The Rock.
It's called Ambulance. It has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Okay. And it's like a little long. We probably could have lost 30 minutes in there.
I know he's in that Nightcrawler movie, and I've heard Nightcrawler's pretty good.
I heard it was good, but this is a Michael Bay movie, and it's about him and they hijack an ambulance and it's like this high octane, thrilling performance by Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like this crazy guy, you know what I mean? And his brother is like
Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal?
I don't know. I've heard both. I say Gyllenhaal, but I've heard both. I sometimes I forget how important Marco is to the story for our characters.
Yeah.
I mean, because we lost him in season 1, but like they've always referenced him, and he was always like the sweet, nice guy. Like he was
important for what happened with Rhina.
Yeah.
And the PT, like the break that he had.
Yeah,
with Annie, and then it's important for Jean because I'm pretty sure Jean didn't they find him in a fucking Titan pellet?
Yeah, Marco.
Yeah, but Jean found him in
Yeah.
a Titan pellet. I thought
It was awful.
yeah, it's fucking terrible.
And just like I don't. If I was Reiner, I don't think I could ask for forgiveness for that type of thing.
I think he was just wanting to be able to confess, like lay his burdens out there.
Yeah.
because he's feeling that shit.
But I also feel like if I was Jean, like no, keep that burden. Like I don't want you to have any relief.
Yeah, I know.
For killing my friend, you know.
I agree.
But you know, it's.
I understand.
If I was John,
I understand what it's like to be burdened, and I understand the other side of like fuck you.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
If I was Jean, I guess I like to think that I would keep my cool because like, we need to work together. I need to be able to trust these guys. So like, even though I hate them,
It wasn't your friend that was eaten by a Titan.
Yeah.
Got a pellet though, so it's
Yeah.
a little different.
no, yeah, it's different. But if I guess I thought if I was going to save the world, or especially if my family was still living in a world, I would have to try to put that number one, despite my feelings.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, yeah, dude, Yelena just fucked all this shit up, honestly. But it started a conversation that I think that was the characters need to have, and by the morning, like I think Jean just washed his hands of it, like
Yeah, he went out and cried.
yeah,
He got the frustration out.
and helped up Reiner, and he's like, your stupid face healed hours ago, and
Yeah.
and I think they're good now. So it was
Good,
just
as good as they can be.
as good as they can be under the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer not any more little drama between them, even though though it would be warranted in real life.
I don't want any unwarranted repetition.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to keep going through the same shit when we got a big story on our hands and there's just like, oh hey,
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm mad at you. It's like I know, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear you're sorry. I know.
Yeah, we had a whole episode dedicated to it, so like
now I think the development needs to happen with McGath. Like with how he was acting when Gabby was begging.
Yeah, you're right. I almost took that little I wanted to help her up, but I won't.
Yeah.
I almost took that as like he feels bad. We might not get a conversation, but he might do during this battle. He might show some kind of great act of bravery or something.
Yeah, he may
to save Gabby.
Yeah.
That makes sense. If he ended up dying,
Yeah.
he's got to go out maybe
fucking man.
like a man, or self-sacrifice, or taking a bullet for Gabby or something like that.
Well, in the battle for the port, yeah. I really do hope that this is Flock's fucking end. If he dies in some shitty way that's unceremonious, they know.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't take the coward's way out and
Kill
Hitler himself. Yeah.
I would almost I don't know.
There's a counterbalance to his character because right now he's kind of being a zealot. He's on a power trip.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we know he's just a whiny asshole. So
just the way he's I
know, eyes wide.
Yeah. God, it drives you crazy.
Fucking basking in that shit.
Yeah.
Just no.
If you were in Mikas Armin's situation, do you think you could take Aaron out?
So it's like if it was you.
Yeah, if it was me.
I guess it depended on what was on the line. I've already expressed my fucking feelings. Like if my kids had been killed, depends on how my life had turned out. If I still had kids on the line and they were out there in Marley, that's one thing. But if it's on the island and you're going out to do that, well, I'm not doing shit. I'm sorry, but it's like the whole world wants to fucking wipe out your island.
Well, the top 1%.
Yeah, but all those people are still joining in and eating that fucking cannon fodder up. I shouldn't say cannon fodder; it's the wrong term. But the political jargon, demagogue, the fucking speeches, they're all like they're devils, and even McGath's still sitting there spewing it.
Yeah, which I didn't need that, but I think the show clearly showed.
Well, Hanji kind of put him in his place too.
Yeah, and gave him an out too. Explained, he can't reconcile the fact that he learned all this propaganda, but we were eating dinner.
Yeah,
Hanji he was drunk, like you said. They showed him holding the bottle.
Yeah. Staring people
and then
down,
he felt bad.
Getting drunk, staring people down.
Yeah. It's funny. If I were him, I'd feel that way. I was told my whole life these are terrible people, and they wanted and they subjected the whole world.
Yeah.
And finally, we got them under control. We just need to wipe them out. It sucks. We just gotta wipe them out. Yeah. And then we don't wipe them out, and now they're fucking trying to take over the world.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, what was it, that old saying? It's like the often reach your destiny on the road you take to avoid it. It's like you created the circumstances.
It's like your self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Yeah, you created the circumstances that you're dealing with now. Going there, like you said, like Jean said.
Yeah.
You fucking tore down the wall. You had his mom eating in front of him.
Yeah.
Aaron was always a fighter. He admitted that.
Yeah.
But his outlook may have been different.
Yeah.
People weren't being eaten and killed around him all the time.
Yeah, I completely agree with Jean there, but then he brought up, because it didn't happen 2,000 years ago. It started 2,000 years ago. And that's when it started with the little girl, whatever her name is. Amir, yeah. And then they did that for 1,000 years. And then it lasted until 100 years ago.
But we know, though, that it was Marley that was using that.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, yeah.
He was doing all that shit.
Was that the name of the tribe, though, of Marley?
That was the king's name.
Okay.
But remember, I thought they established that in that backstory episode about her when Zeke and Aaron were in that little.
And also, Grisha's little outlook looked like it was wrong too. Grisha was saying, "Oh, the Titans were actually a gift from the gods to help humanity," Yeah. So that would be an easier pill to swallow if he was right.
Yeah,
but now he was wrong, and the Titans were literally shitty.
Yeah, they were. But it's the thing that they were used by a human, like Marleyans.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
So that relationship was already there. That's existing now in Marley.
Yeah.
And they were using those fucking Titans, and they carved up Amir's body after the fact and fed it to all our kids.
Sign you.
Yeah, and then they don't think it ever really explored anything after that. So I'm pretty sure it was just the Marleyans using them the whole fucking time to do it. So it started 2,000 years ago, but
there was one time a civil war.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but they never explored that.
We don't know that, but at one time the Titan powers seemed to be. They were used by a small group of humanity to fuck with humanity, and then at some, because the way Marley feels now is that they were subjugated. So
they only remember the fact that they got things turned around on them after they were the ones.
That might just be the only history they have available to them.
Of course they would. The winner is write the fucking history books, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if humanity, yeah, you're right.
They're just ignoring the first part.
Yeah.
Which if anyone ever wrote that down, is one thing.
Well, the Egyptians were really good at. The Egyptians never recorded one battle they lost, but we have a bunch of evidence for sure of other cultures who beat them in all these big battles for things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they were the masters of propaganda.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of interesting to think about.
It's like one of those Full Metal Alchemist episodes where they all sit around. It's like an anime thing. They all sit down.
Yeah.
The airing of grievances.
Yeah.
The fucking.
It's like and it's funny. It's like the campfire episode in Avatar. Mm-hmm. So we're discussing their mom and dad. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Zuko and his sister and Azula. They're it's kind of, we got to have that towards.
Is that the one where you're talking about the one where they're on the island?
Yeah.
Yeah, with him and Ty
Lee and the other girl.
What the fuck's her name?
Mei
Chang?
No, ain't no Chang in there.
She's from.
Ain't no goddamn Chang in there, Zach.
She's from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
It
May?
might just be May.
I think it's May. Yeah. So I liked it. I don't lament it. But
Mei Ling.
okay.
No, Mei Ling's
come on, focus.
Mei Ling.
Mei
Ling's from Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, it is. You're right.
Mei Chang is Full Metal Alchemist.
Keep coughing. If you guys don't want to wait till next week, check us out on Patreon. We're out here.